Hi, this is Mr. Ye. So now we're gonna finish the second part review. This part, a lot of you guys are not very experienced with it, so we're gonna go through this all the question in detail. But yesterday, thanks to Moniac, somebody did point out is whether this question need to have an asymptote. Yes, because I did ask for asymptote right here, but that was something that I need you to do, which is you can get extra points for it. So the asymptote is gonna be, look at this point right here. So that is my center. So asymptote. So it's based on this point and going the rise over run. So the rise is 1, 2, and then 1, 2, 3. So I know my slope of this asymptote is 2 over 3. So that's equal to m. Now it's based on this point, so we can use point and slope form for the asymptote. So then the point is gonna be it's gonna be 3 and negative 5. So that's for the asymptote. So therefore, you can actually write it. You can say, use it this point slope form. You can actually use y minus y1 equal to m times x minus x1. I think this is a very powerful line equation. And with this equation can show you to start with this point with a particular slope, or start with this point using particular slope. We know the slope is also negative 2 over 3. So therefore, as my slope is going to be y minus y1. Y1 is going to be negative 5 here. So it's going to be positive 5 equal to 2 over 3. 2 over 3 times x minus 3. And y plus 5 equal to negative 2 over 3 times x minus 3. So that's my asymptote. So thanks, Moniac. He actually pointed out, says, well, do I just draw it or do I actually write down the equation? Equation is not hard to write, so you guys recognize the start of this point and going to the certain slope. In this case, there's two slopes. One's positive slope and one's negative slope. Just kind of review the equation with a line. So I thought this is kind of important for some of you guys. Now we're going to go to the other page. This page here. So what happened is we're gonna go to YouTube and make sure we can copy this. Home. Videos. Part 2. Activities. My channel. Cross out as. So I think we have this one. We're gonna share this video. So copy link, and we're gonna go post on my website. Pre-calculus. So now I'm gonna go finish this questions. This questions here says a line segment through a center of each circle. Okay, so what does that mean? Intersect circle at 0, 4, and 24, negative 6. Now, there's, of course, we don't have enough grids to draw that. We're gonna kind of estimate this. 0 to 4, so it'll be like one small increment here. We're gonna say that's 4. and we're gonna go 24 and 6. So if that's 6, the same increment is gonna be 4. So we're gonna take around 6 units down here and 2 units down here, or 1.5 unit here. So they say that's the diameter of the circle. So by looking at this, we can probably see where the center is. So if this is diameter here between 2 points, so we got a point here, which is this point, and this point, and then we say that is the part of circle. So we're gonna say that's a part of circles. We're gonna say part of circles. So that's the circle. So the circle is 0, 4, and 24 and -6. What I say, find the coordinate of circle center. So if you understand that center is in the midpoint between those two, because that's the middle distance. If I have a middle part of distance, middle part of the point, I should be able to find center. So if it's something in the middle, it's the average. So what is the midpoint formula? So the midpoint formula, so that's going to be x1 plus x2 over 2. Basically, it's the average between two values. And this is also a SAT question, is sometimes they just say, hey, can you find the midpoints? Or if I give you a midpoint, can you find the other 2 points? So sometimes they ask like that. So with here, you just have to average both points. So we're going to take the x value, which is 0 and 24. So we're going to say 0 plus 24 over 2. And then it's going to be 4 plus -6, 4 plus -6, and over 2. Well, we know that's going to be 12 over 2, so it's equal to 12. And -2 over 2 is going to give you -1. So roughly it's going to be 12 unit and -1 here, which is roughly is about right according to my scale drawing, because each increment is 4. So this will be 12, and this increment is not enough to be 4, so it's about 1 unit for that. So when we find the radius, which is this, when we find the center, which is this point, how do I find the radius? Well, radius is a distance from where to where. Well, radius is the distance from any circle to any outer points. So of course I'm going to pick an easier point for myself. So I'm going to pick first of all, radius is distance from center. So we know we had to use center. Some people use those two, and then they say find that is much harder because you deal with a bigger number. So you just have to find distance from here to here. But we know to any point of the circle, any point of circle. So it's going from here to here or here to here. So if that's the case, we just want to find distance. What's the distance? Distance formula is equal to, now again, I'm not going to give you 2 on the test. It's x2 minus x1, which is the changing in x squared plus y2 minus y1. So square. All we got to do is plug in which point and which point. Well, we're going to use this point and this point. Why this point? Because this is 0 and 4. It's much easier to deal with 24 and -6. And also this point here, center. So we're going to use center as the x2. Actually, in this case, it doesn't matter, but it does in a way. So x2 is going to be center. x2 is going to be 0. Okay. That's going to be the second point. Now this is the center. So 0 minus 12, and then square, plus, the next one is a little bit more challenging. So we're going to look at this point, 4, and then -1. So will be, because it's 0 minus 12, 0 minus 12, and then 4 minus -1. So 4 minus -1 square. So if I did that, it's going to be 144 plus 25 is equal to square root of 169. That's a good number because that's lucky 13. So we find the radius because we use the distance from this point and this point. Not this 2. You can take this 2 distance divided by 2 is roughly going to be the same because the distance between those 2 is going to be 26. But the number you deal with is so much bigger. Now once you have the center and the radius, I can form an equation. That's really easy. X minus x2 minus x1 square. Actually, sorry. It's going to be the center. So it'll be x minus, the center is going to be 12 and square plus y minus -1 square is equal to the radius. The radius is 13, but 13 is square, so it'll be 169. So it'll be x minus 12 square plus y plus 1 to the square is equal to 169. So that will be your answer here. Now the next 2 part is our parabola. Parabola is kind of painful, but for me is I'm always remember Pac-Man look like is eating the candy. And directress, which is the ghost, G-H-O-S-T, is chasing the Pac-Man. And this applies to all the conic. So we're going to talk about other conics as well. Here we have to draw it though. What is x equal to -4? Well, we have to know that. X equal to -4 is either horizontal line or vertical line because it's always equal to -4. So we basically go down to over to -4 here, and we're going to draw a line. It should be a dotted line, but that's fine. And then we're going to go to focus. The focus is going to be 1, 2, 3, and -1. So that's your focus right here. Now you know it's focus equal distance to vertex, equal distance to the directress. So if you see here, from here to here, what we're doing, we're finding the midpoint. Or we can count them. The best way is always count them. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That is interesting. Okay, so here is going to be 3 and -1, and 3 and -1, and x equal to -4. So here's a problem that we actually in the middle here. That's a slight problem for some of you guys, but it's not too difficult because we know the vertex is going to be between there. So therefore, it's going to be 3 and -4. So we're going to see where the midpoint is. So 3 plus -4 all over 2. So that's equal to -1/2. So roughly is half here. So if you count them as 7, so it's going to be 3.5 each way. So it's going to be -1/2. So I didn't mean to create this question like this, but we're going to stay with it because here is going to give you the vertex right here. And of course, the vertex is facing this direction. Okay, so that's one thing. But what's the distance between here to here? It was 3.5. Therefore, we have to figure out. Okay, so first of all, we have to understand is opening right. So opening y means y squared or x squared. Well, we know x squared face up and down. Okay, and the y square is going to face left or right. So therefore, you have to say, well, it's facing right because you got this, the focus is right here, so it has to face right. So if you face right, going from here to here, the distance is actually 3.5. So we say we're going to start with the y square first because the y square is going to dictate if I'm moving left and right. But it's not really y squared, it's based on this point -1. So it's going to be y plus 1 squared equal to 4p times x minus a plus a half. Okay, so what is p? Well, p is the distance from here to here, or from there to here. We know it's 3.5, therefore we just have to plug in, so it'll be 1 plus 1 is equal to 3.57, 14 times x plus 1 half. So that is the equation here. Now this one's a little bit more difficult because it's something with decimals. So some of you guys cannot handle decimals, but it's not that bad. So yeah, hopefully next question is a little bit better because next question is also parabola. So if it's also a parabola, now this is also a parabola, so we're gonna draw it. Okay, we always draw on the side. 2, -4, so it'll be 1, 2, 3. 2, -4, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's my vertex. Okay, and the -3 and -4, so -3, 1, 2, 3, and -4 here is gonna be your focus. So focus, we're gonna say that here is a curve, and direction is probably 5 units to the back. So roughly equal to, I don't know, 7. X equal to 7. So, but we really need to know distance from here to the focus, or from here to the directress. So the distance is 5 units, because 2 to -3, this is exactly 5 units. So if it's 5 units, so that's easy to say. So where's my vertex though? My vertex is 2 and -4, so it's facing left. If it's facing left, therefore it must be y still. Okay. It's still going to be y as well. So we got y squared, y minus -4, and then square is equal to 4p times x minus, well, h in this case, but the h is going to be 2. And then we just have to figure out what the p is. Well, the p is the distance from here to here. Well, in this case, it's roughly 5 units apart. So it's going to be y plus 4 squared. P is going to facing the left side, so therefore it's going to be -5. So it'll be -20 times x minus 2. Now hopefully if you graph it, it's going to turn out to be okay. So and then this is actually a very easy problem, but the next 2 questions are a bit more harder. But parabola for a lot of you guys is difficult. Okay, so here's my answer. I usually start by looking which side I open. If I see the vertex, if I see the focus is -3, -4, so the focus is on the left side of the vertex, so therefore the parabola is faced left and right. So in this case, that left and right is going to help me. Where I should start with the y minus k squared or x minus h squared, depends on what is the comes first. Depending on what is the right thing. Yeah. So the next one is going to be a little bit harder because they say it's hyperbola. Well, hyperbola is the only difference is c squared equal to a squared plus b squared. Because you remember the hyperbola is start with the negative sign, the sign kind of change oppositely. So therefore it's actually plus. So we're going to draw this. And this one should be not hard to draw. 1, -2. So it's going to be 1, -2. So -2 is going to be here. That's my center. My focus is going to be 1, 1. So my focus is right here. And my vertex is going to be 1, 3. So this one is really 1, 3. So the vertex is on the top of here. So this is called transverse line. This is called transverse line. Transverse line. So it's the vertex, focus, actually, focus 1, -2. Okay, so this is center. So sorry, I drew it wrong. Let me redraw again. So it's going to be center, it's going to be 1, -2. So that's my center. My focus is 1, 1. That's the focus. And vertex is a 1, 3. 1. So the vertex is this way. So now, oh, this is a typo right here. So the things here that is going to have to switch. Otherwise, the parabola is here. So it's going to be inside the, so this has to switch. So here that they have to switch 1, 3, and they have to switch. So therefore, I'm going to redraw it. So it's going to be 1, 1 is focus and the vertex. So center is 1, -2. 1, -2 is right here. Your focus is 1, 1. No, actually your vertex is 1, 1. So vertex is this way. So they have to switch. And 1, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is your candy right here. So it's facing this way. So we know has to be y comes first. But y, so I'm going to go ahead and write it. Y minus something minus x minus something. So y minus, the center is going to be using here. So it's going to be +2. And this one's going to be x minus 1 squared over something is equal to 1. Now let's figure out a box. The box is basically from here to the vertex. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3. So it'll be 3 units. So the y unit is going to be 9 because 3 squared is 9. Now I just don't know what's the other side, but we have to figure out. So right now focus is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's going to be 4 units. So c squared is equal to 4 units. Square plus 3 square. Okay. So y is 3. So 1, 2, 3. So that's a 3 square. And the other side of the box is basically 3 squares. Sorry, no, I make a mistake. So the vertex is going to be from here to here, from vertex to the focus, which is here to here. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 units, 5 units maybe. 1, 2, 3. It's going to be 5 units. So it'd be 5 square equal to long square, which is going to be 3 square plus 4 square plus a square. So a square is equal to 4. A square is equal to 16. A is equal to 4. So therefore, this one's going to be 4. So 4 squared is going to be 16. So this one's kind of hard because first of all, I make a mistake because this one doesn't make sense. So that 1 and 3 has to switch. There's no way that it's going to be right. Okay. So the next part here, it's going to be a little bit more interesting. So if foci is located at 15 and 1, so we're going to say this is a 5, 10, 15, 15 and 1, so it's going to be 1 unit. So this is the foci, and negative 9, 1 is going to be a vertices, so it's going to be roughly um, vertices is going to be for here, it's going to be negative 9, 1. Negative 9, 1. So it's going to be here, here, negative 9, 1. So we know the center is going to happen to be between two foci. That's just always the truth. So center is going to be between there. So therefore, it's the midpoint formula. So midpoint formula comes in play again. So it'll be 15 um, plus negative 9 all over 2 is 1 plus 1 over 2. So that's equal to 15 minus 9 is going to be 6. 6 divided by 2 is going to be 3. And this one is going to be 1. So 3, 1 kind of makes sense. 3 1 is over there. Or roughly here, negative 9 should be all the way here. So, but here is going to be the midpoint between these two. So now the vertice has to be here because they have to eat the foci. So therefore it's where? Negative 10. So it's going to go from center to negative 10. This is negative 9. So it has to be negative 10. So it has to be somewhere here, outer here. So here, and from negative 10, 1. So 16, 1. So it's all the way to here. So then we had to figure out a distance. Okay, so from here to the foci is, well, roughly from the center to the foci is gonna going from, well, 5 to 15. So 5 to 15 is 10 units. So C is equal to 10. Okay, because you see here, this is C is going to go in from this direction. So it's going to be foci is right here, center is right here. So I just have to look at the difference. So C is equal to 10. Now, what else is there? Well, if it's 10, then if it's 10 units, so we're gonna have to figure out what other stuffs first. I'm very tired, so my mind's kind of in the Taiwan time. So we know C is equal to 10. What else do we know? We know the distance is from center to 16. So center to 16, that is gonna be from, well, we're gonna label the center. The center is gonna be 3 and 1. So 3 and 1 to 16, so that's roughly 13 in distance. So it'll be 13 in distance. So we know the 13 is equal to long, but we don't know what else is. So we know here is C squared equal to long square minus short square. Long square minus short square. So C is equal to 100. Is equal to L. L is going to be exactly 13 square minus S square. So what is the short square? So at this case, this one is going to be 13. 3, negative 1. So I might have make a lot of mistake here. So let me redraw it. I really need to draw it out. Okay, so let me see if I did this question correctly. So I might make mistakes. So 5, 6, 5. So this is 5, 10, and 15. So it's full size right here. So we're gonna say circle, and the vertex here is gonna be negative 9. So it's gonna be here. So that's my circle. -10, so 9. So we say it has to be 2 and so it'll be 3 and 1, so it's gonna be here. So that's my center. And my vertex is gonna be from 13 to 16, so it's gonna be 16, it's gonna be from this. So that's right. From here to 15, from 3 to 15, it's actually here we're gonna have 3 and 1. So from 3 and 1 to 16, that's equal to the long, so it'll be 13 square. And from here to 15 is the 12. So 12 is the foci. So this one is going to be 144. 144 equal to 169 minus the s squared, which is the short side. So if that's the case, that we can find out what happened. So s squared is equal to 169 minus 144. So therefore, it's going to give me 25. So s squared is equal to 25. S is equal to 5. Okay, so that's the short side. So we had to figure out everything. So now we're gonna write in the center. The center is gonna be 3 and 1, so it'll be x minus 3 squared plus y minus 1 squared is equal to 1. And we know in x direction, it's going from here to here, it's going to give you 13 units, or actually 12 units. So it's going to be 144. And the y is going to be 5 units, so it's going to be 25. So here's your answer for this one. Now this one's a little bit more challenging. I think some of those questions are challenging. First of all, I make mistake right here. So this focus coordinate had to switch. And going from there. The last one here, this one should be an easier sheet, but I have 6 questions. Your test actually have 4 questions. So we're gonna figure out. This is my center. The center is 0, 2, 0, -2. Sorry. Oh no, sorry. It's actually 5, -2. Okay, so that's my center. And so here from my center, it would go into the top of the box. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we know here's 5 units. We know here's 3 units. And that's going to help me find the equation, of course, immediately. But we had to figure out the parabola is facing this way and facing this direction. And if it's facing this direction, that's going to be x coming first. So it'll be x minus 5 squared minus y plus 2 squared, that's equal to 1. X direction is going to 3 units, so it's 9. This one is going to be 25. So here is your answer. Yeah. 5, -2, parabola is going up. Going right 3 units, going up 5 units. So here is going to implement that. Now here we're going to find a midpoint. So from here to here, well, again, this is the type of place that you should count them instead of really calculate. Well, 9 and -5, so that's 14, 7 units apart. So if we count it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it's going to be 6, 7 units. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's my center. And by looking at it, I can tell that's my center. But still, I want to count it. Ellipse is something square plus something square is equal to 1 all over something and something. So it's going to be center is going to be plus 2. Sorry, it's going to be minus 2, x minus 2, and that's going to be y plus 5, plus 3. And then all over in x direction 7 units, so it's 49. In y direction is 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's 16. So that will be my answer in the final. Okay. So now we're gonna go to the other one, which is this one's called parabola. So we set to count the distance between here to focus. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 5 units. Now if you look at here, it should be 20 units because this is called lattice rectum right here. That's where you can draw a butt. But if you pay attention, that should be 15 units. That should be, sorry, that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that should be 20 units. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so this is gonna be units from here. It's gonna be 5 units, and going from here to here is 5 units, and going from here to here is gonna be 10, and from here to here it's gonna be 10. So therefore, we just need to figure out my vertexes. Vertex is 3 and 2. So that's my vertex, and it's gonna go down. So if it's go down, then it has to be x squared only. So it'll be x something squared is equal to 4p times y minus something. Okay, so that's vertex is going to be minus 3 and minus 3 here. That's my vertex. And then minus 2. Okay, so now the p is 5, so I could just plug in, but make sure it's facing down. So it's going to be square is equal to negative 20 y minus 2. So p is equal to 5, negative 5 actually, because it's facing down, so it's negative 5. So negative 5 times p4 is going to be 20. So this one's going to be end up the right answer right here. Now this one's the easiest one. This one's the SAT questions. So they just say, hey, can you find the equation of a circle? Now, this is my center. It's going to be what? 3 and negative 2. So we know it's x. It's 3 squared plus y plus 2 squared is equal to r. R is going to be 4. And this is awfully easy. Again, if you have 2 points, that's going to give me enough information, especially this is a vertex. Vertex is 4 and 3. So 4 and 3. My focus is from here to here is 2 units apart. 1, 2, and here is going to be 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's exactly 8 units, which is 4p. So then it's facing left, so it has to be y come first minus k squared equal to 4p times x minus h. So y minus, well, k is going to be 3 squared is equal to 4p times x minus 4. Now what is p? Well, p is moving backward 2 units, so it's actually negative 8. Okay, so that should be almost the last answer. Now we're going to come down to the last one. The last one is here. Well, we know it's y come first and the x comes second because this is a y parabola, and is equal to 1. This one's minus. This one's something square, something square, something square. Now we just have to figure out the center is. Center is 3, so it'd be minus 3 and negative plus 3. Okay, because center is at oh, sorry, the center is not there. The center is at negative 2, and the negative 3. So it's going to be x plus 2, and then y plus 3, square minus is equal to 1 over. So that's my center. Now we just had to figure out the last equation. How far I'm going up. X going 2 units up. From here to here is 2 units. So therefore it's 4. From here to here is 3 units. So therefore this is 9. Wait. Sorry. This one is 9. This one's 4. You can count. Again, I'm telling you, I'm really tired. I'm flying back today. So here's all the answers. Let me rewrite this one. So it's x minus 2 squared over 49 plus y plus 3 squared over 16, and that's equal to 1. Okay, so here's all the answers. Hopefully be okay to going through here. And there are a few tough ones, so we're gonna tell you that there was some mistake over there. That should be all.